You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Y'all, let me tell you something. 2 days ago in Florida, federal judge goes off on Governor Ron DeSantis and the attorney for the Secretary of State in Florida when it came to Amendment 4. Now, y'all remember, we talked about it on this show, Amendment 4 was passed in Florida, nearly 70% of the folks. Now, I told y'all, don't trust them Republicans because they down with voter suppression. I told y'all, hashtag we tried to tell you. I told Desmond right here on this show, Desmond, don't trust them.
I remember that.
And Desmond came back like, yeah, Roland, you did tell us that. I said, don't believe they're going to let this thing fly. You can't put almost 1.4 million people with the power to vote in their hand and Republicans going to sit here and just be quiet about it. So what did they do? DeSantis beats Gillum. Sidebar, all you punk asses who didn't vote, elections has consequences. I tried to tell y'all this too. So what do? Republican legislature passes a law that says, oh, no. Amendment 4 only goes into effect if you could pay all of your fines and penalties completely back. Well, they get sued. They go to federal court. The judge declares that law unconstitutional. So they go into the court. And the judge goes off, Judith, on the attorneys. Just snapping. Then he says, he told the attorney, I need to hear you say out your mouth that what I ruled was not proper. The attorney for the governor tried to say he could not speak for the governor. He's like, you the attorney for the governor. The judge snapped on them all throughout and accused them of trying to run the clock out because here's the problem. The primary in Florida is in March.
Right, that's right.
Those are the games that they're playing in Florida when it comes to the voting power.
Right. No, this has been an ongoing battle, right? I mean, Amendment 4 was transformational, right? We're talking about a part of the Constitution of Florida that has been in place since right after slavery, right? As an effort to reduce the political power of newly freed black folks. And so here we have someone who is formerly incarcerated leading this effort to allow folks, the 1.4 million, to vote. Republicans like, not so fast. Now, voters voted for it.
Including Republicans.
Including Republicans, including white people, right? Like you had to get more than 60% of the vote to get it passed, right? And so it passed, but the deal is that they kept in place that you have to pay fines and fees. Now, if anybody knows anything about Florida, Florida is number one in incarceration. They do very well on fines and fees. As you know, that there's whole cities and counties that run off of fines and fees. That money is important to them. And so they wanted to have everybody pay fines and fees. When I was out doing canvassing for Amendment 4, I met a brother who had been convicted of drug trafficking and had to pay restitution of $250,000. And he said to me, I will never be able to vote.
Right.
Because I'll never be able to pay that. And so I think
That was a white woman I read her story. She said the same thing. She said, I'm not going to be able to pay back $500,000.
Right.
She said, so I shouldn't be able to vote?
Fraud. There's a woman with insurance fraud. So, I mean, the thing that comes down, and this is in many other states too, is this problem of fines and fees continuing to be a barrier to vote.
But the problem here is, though, that the voters knew what they're voting for. What the Republicans are saying is that, no, Judge, the voters really didn't quite understand that what they were voting for. And the federal judge was killing them saying, really? So this was something that, first of all, you had to get petitions.
It was a long process.
I mean, it was a 10-year process. 2, it had to be certified by the Supreme Court for the state.
Right.
So the federal judge is saying, wait a minute, so you went through this whole process and now you're trying to say the voters didn't know what they were doing?
Right. And the language in Amendment 4 says you have to have completed sentence. And that's where the fight is, because Republicans are saying completed sentence means you paid everything, right? That's not what the voters thought. The voters thought, look, once you out, right? And you get to have your right back. And so this is DeSantis was waiting for this. He was glad to be elected so he could execute on making sure that 1.4 million wouldn't make it.
And he, of course, danced around this issue during the campaign.
That's right.
Then, even after he was elected, said, well, I'll take a look at it, when I become governor. But this also was a mistake, and I told Desmond this, they're lawyers. When this went before the Supreme Court, the Republicans actually laid this trap. During the hearing before the Supreme Court that certified this, the issue of the fines came up. And the lawyers sort of just tried to quickly dismiss it like it wasn't a big deal. But that's exactly what they're using. And that's why I keep saying, you got to understand what your opponent is doing, the game that they're playing. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Fam, it's the holiday season. This is when you think about spending time with your family and friends. This is also when you count your blessings and support those less fortunate. This year, become a holiday hero and change someone's life forever. Right now, hundreds of thousands of Americans are sitting in jail without being convicted of a crime. Why? Because they can't pay their bail. Think about it. If you are arrested for any minor offense and you go to jail, if you don't have the money, you got to stay there until a court date is scheduled. That could be weeks, that could be days, weeks, or even months. Some black folks were there for years. Simply put, America's bail system is broken for people of color. Freedom should be free, folks. That's why the Ebony Foundation has partnered with the Bail Project and is sponsoring the Home by the Holiday campaign. The Bail Project has helped bail out thousands of people over the years, and with your help, they plan to bail out 1,000 people by New Year's Day. What they want you to do is make a donation anywhere from $25, $50 to $50 or more to do so. Now, of course, people of color represents anywhere from 50 to 90% of the jail population across the country. Now, check this out. Without bail, nearly 90% of those charged with misdemeanors plead guilty because they're trying to get out. However, when bail is paid, less than 2% receive a jail sentence. Sometimes justice just need us. If you want to donate, folks, and help the Ebony Foundation, go to homebytheholiday.com. That's homebytheholiday.com. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.